So this is the MediumFrame pasteurizer. It pasteurizes the milk in a HTST or flash pasteurization system. That means it heats up the milk to 73 degrees Celsius, keeps that temperature for about 15 seconds, and by this pasteurizes the milk. So all the pathogens in the milk are killed, and the milk can be easily used to feed calves. For those of you who already pasteurize milk in a milk taxi, you may ask yourself the question, why do we need the MediumFrame pasteur? The pasteurizer is able to pasteurize a large quantity of milk. This unit pasteurizes 500 to 600 liters per hour, whereas the largest milk taxi size is about 400 liters, and that needs about 3 hours to pasteurize the milk. The other advantage of the system is that it's very energy efficient. We are recovering the energy, the heat which is developed inside the system to preheat the incoming milk. So yeah, we are saving a lot of energy with this with the system. On the other side, the milk taxi is an all-round feeding machine for calves, which is not only pasteurizing but also transporting and dosing out the milk. So for the majority of dairy farms, the milk taxi is probably a very good option. But back to the MediumFrame. The pasteurization process at the MediumFrame consists of 4 different stages. First, we have a heat exchanger here, which pre-warms the incoming milk. Then we have 2 heat exchangers, which heat up the milk to 73 degrees Celsius, so pasteurization temperature. In the back of the pasteurizer, we have the timing loop pipes where the milk stays for about 15 seconds. So this is actually where the pasteurization starts. And after that, the milk is cooled down back into this heat exchanger, the regen heat exchanger. So this is basically where warm milk flows against cold milk, and this is where we recover the heat energy. I would now like to present the milk flow in detail in order to explain the function of the MediumFrame pasteurizer. As just described, the lift pump sent the milk from the storage tank via these lines to the pasteurizer. At the beginning, this balancing tank is filled to about 1/3 with milk. Then the milk flows through the pasteurizer system. First through the first heat regen plate exchanger, and then to these 2 heating elements on the left side. The heat exchangers here on the MediumFrame pasteurizer, they work more or less like the plate cooling systems you know from milking parlors. Only that instead of cold water cooling down the milk, we are using hot water to heat up the milk. This MediumFrame has a special option as well. This first heat exchanger is powered by hot water from the biogas plant here on the farm. If the water supply of the biogas plant is not sufficient, then we have the second heating element, which is powered by the integrated boiler here at the pasteurizer, so that we always can have the right energy. So this whole system is very energy friendly because we are using the energy source here on this farm. Before the milk flows through the rear tubes, the timing loop, this sensor measures the temperature of the milk. A flow sensor here on the other side is measuring the time the milk flows through the pasteurizer, and it keeps this time to exactly 15 seconds. This frequency controlled pump is managed by the control unit of the pasteurizer to keep exactly time and temperature. At the end of the timing loop, another sensor measures the temperature and determines whether the required temperature of 73 degrees is still correct. Only then has the pasteurization been successfully completed. At the beginning, the second sensor will not reach its pasteurization temperature, so the whole pasteurizer has to get in operation at the beginning. So the milk will then flow into this balance tank and go through the whole process another time. So when the pasteurization temperature has been reached, 73 degrees warm milk flows through this first regen plate exchanger. The cold milk from the tank is pre-warmed, and the heating elements on the left have less work to do. In a perfect situation, we would be able to work only with the energy from the biogas plant. So this, of course, is ideal for farms who have an excess of hot water on their farm to be used in this kind of system. The pasteurized and pre-cooled milk is then led via this circular line to the double jug milk tanks. But we'll get to them later. First, I would like to explain another special feature here on this MediumFrame. This model is equipped with a feature which is called even temp. With this valve, we are able to separate milk through a special milk line into a milk taxi so that the milk can be fed to calves in individual boxes.